Nee, aber also man hat dann irgendwann so einen vernebelten Verstand und als ich dann wieder angefangen habe, Fleisch zu essen, hat man richtig gemerkt, so von Tag zu Tag, wie der Verstand wieder klarer wurde. Das ist wirklich extrem gewesen.
Das hört sich halt ein bisschen nach Verschwörungstheorie alles an, so mit die Blutbilder funktionieren nicht und weiter. Also,
naja, die funktionieren. Der Meinung, das ist nicht eine gute Repräsentation.
Sie können schlecht repräsentieren, was im Körper wirklich los ist, dauerhaft. Also sie zeigen ein Abbild von dem, was
zum Beispiel,
im Körper passiert.
Wenn du jetzt B12-Supplemente nimmst, das erscheint im Blut.
Genau.
Aber das heißt noch lange nicht, dass du es aufnehmen kannst.
Dass dein Körper das für die ganzen enzymatischen Prozesse verwerten kann. Nur weil es im Blutkreislauf stimmt, dann wird es halt irgendwann wieder rausgefiltert und
ausgeschieden. Kann ja, wenn du Fleisch isst und B12 aufnimmst, dasselbe sein, oder?
Ja, das ist dann wirklich das B12, ja.
Das andere ist auch wirkliches B12.
Nein, ist es ja nicht, das ist ja das Ding.
Es ist vor allem isoliert. Und
das ist nicht gemessen. Ich weiß viele Veganer, die B12 nehmen, aber die haben B12-Mangel. Aber es geht ja nicht mal nur...
Wie stellt ihr das dann fest, außer dass ihr sagt, euer Verstand oder benehmt?
Ja, man kann sogar einen Blackout kriegen, also man kann einfach umfallen.
Aber wie wird es nachgewiesen, dass es dann an B12 liegt?
Ja, vielleicht liegt es auch an was anderem, vielleicht was Cholesterin.
Dann wisst ihr es ja nicht.
Ja genau, ist ja egal, man wird einfach krank, darum geht es ja.
Die Frage ist ja, sagt ja auch keiner, dass Veganer nicht krank werden, aber Fleischer werden auch krank.
Also ich selber habe Ex-Veganer Interviews auf meinem Channel, könnt ihr mal gucken. Also das ist schon ein Beweis, weil es gibt da viele.
Einzelne sagen, dass...
ja klar.
Nee, das ist kein Beweis.
Leute ist doch kein Beweis.
Das sind Leute, die krank werden.
Wahrnehmung, das ist ja nicht wissenschaftlich bewiesen. Ihr sagt, die Leute fühlen sich krank. Also ich kann ja wirklich krank werden. Das kann an sehr viel liegen. Aber es muss ja nicht daran liegen, dass ich vegan gelebt habe.
Ja, aber die werden krank als Veganer. Also wenn das eine gute Diät wäre, dann würde man nicht krank werden.
Das ist Blödsinn. Natürlich kannst du krank werden, wenn du vegan lebst.
Wie denn? Was für...
Du kannst alle möglichen Krankheiten bekommen, wenn du vegan lebst.
Ja, aber wenn du nur Fleisch isst, kannst du nicht krank werden.
Superkraft. Natürlich kannst du krank werden, wenn du Fleisch isst.
Ja, es gibt ja ganz viele Fleischesser, die auch krank werden. Also
nein, gibt's gar nicht.
Im Krankenhaus liegen keine Fleischesser.
Nein, nur die meistens Pflanzen essen. 80% Pflanzen, die sind krank im Krankenhaus.
Ja, aber wenn 80% Pflanzen essen...
Hast du jemanden, der die Carnivore Diet ist, im Krankenhaus gesehen? Das gibt's nicht. Ja, die sind super gesund.
Es geht um Leute, die nur Fleisch essen, nicht Leute, die Burger essen.
Also ihr esst nur Fleisch?
Ja. Also, ich weiß es nicht.
Ja,
das ist aber lustig.
Ja. Da wird
das ist unsere natürliche Ernährung.
Was natürlich ist oder nicht, kannst du ruhig filmen.
Nein, ich filme deine Arme nur.
Deine Arme kannst du auch filmen,
ja.
Weil die so dünn sind.
Was meinst du? Was natürlich ist und was nicht, ist egal, oder?
Ja, wer sagt denn, was natürlich ist? Also das ist so eine total lächerliche Kategorie.
Du guckst den Verdauungstrakt an des Menschen, du guckst seine Nährstoffbedürfnisse an, dann siehst du, dass sie, wenn du Tiere isst, dass die 100% gedeckt sind. Dann guckst du, was essen Menschen in der Natur, zum Beispiel primitive Völker, oder du gehst einfach in den Wald und überlegst.
Primitive Völker, die kein Fleisch essen.
Das gibt's nicht.
Natürlich.
Seid ihr Veganer?
Merkt man das nicht?
aber würdest du sagen, dass alle primitiven Völker keine nur Fleisch essen?
Nein, nicht nur. Das sagen wir nicht. Aber die essen auf jeden Fall rohes Fleisch auch.
Aber ihr esst nur Fleisch?
Ich kann jetzt nicht für alle Leute sprechen hier. Keine Ahnung.
Nein, ich esse auch Eier und Sahne oder sowas.
Ja.
Aber keine Pflanzen?
Vielleicht ein paar Früchte, obwohl ich finde, das sind jetzt nicht unbedingt Pflanzen, das sind die reproductive organs of the plant. So, ein bisschen anders, aber ja. Ich esse ein paar Früchte auch.
Vermutlich, es gibt keine Wissenschaft, die das irgendwie belegen würde.
Es gibt schon Studien, die zeigen, dass Veganer zum Beispiel jetzt deutsche Frauen, dass die weniger Eisen haben, also Eisenmangel und so,
ja, genau.
bla bla bla.
Ja. Und dann musst du mehr Eisen nehmen, aber Eisenmangel bei Frauen ist ein allgemeines Problem, auch bei Fleischessern.
Nein, das ist ja das Ding.
Das ist ein allgemeines Problem.
Nein, das ist ja das Ding. Früher hat man ja gesagt, man sollte rohe Leber essen, dann kriegt man genügend Eisen. Jetzt gibt es das nicht mehr. Man verbietet sogar den Frauen, also die Ärzte, wenn die wirklich natürlich essen würden. Es gibt keine Mangelerscheinungen, genau wie beim Wolf, wie beim Hund und so weiter.
Ja, aber ich bin kein Hund.
Nee, ich meine nur, oder bei der Kuh, die Gras isst. Mein Punkt ist, dass wenn ein Tier die natürliche Diät ist, dann ist es nicht krank. Das gibt es nicht. Man kann nicht krank werden.
Jeder Arzt wird dir erzählen, du sollst nicht nur Fleisch essen und das tut ihr. Und das ist irgendwie gegen die Wissenschaft und deswegen ist es sehr suspekt. Und solange es diese Studien dafür nicht gibt, ist es für mich wirklich...
Was für eine Studie meinst du?
Dass einfach die Wissenschaftler, die Ärzte sagen, ja, esst nur Fleisch.
Ja, das wird niemals passieren, weil also zum Beispiel die World Health Organization, es gibt ja diese Studie, das Veganism is for all stages of life, bla bla bla. Die das geschrieben haben, das sind Vegetarier und Veganer. Also wenn die... Nein, das sind offiziell die Seventh-day Adventists. Die sind die von der World Health Organization.
Du kannst natürlich auch unabhängig von der World Health Organization Forschung machen. Du kannst nicht sagen, dass die davon abhalten, wissenschaftliche Studien. Ja, klar kostet das. Ja. Aber wenn es Beweise dafür oder Hinweise dafür gibt, dann wird es dafür Studien geben.
Ich habe schon gesagt, es gibt Hinweise, dass Veganer Mangel haben, aber...
Okay, aber auch Ernährungswissenschaftler, die es studiert haben, wird dir keiner sagen, ess jeden Tag Fleisch.
Die lernen auch in der Uni.
Oh, du hast echt Fleisch? Isst du das? Isst du das gerade?
Ja. Wieso?
Du hast dann Haare.
Also du beißt da jetzt rein und isst das?
Nee, das ist nur so.
Isst du
Fragt,
das
ob du da jetzt reinbeißt.
Ja. Nee, ich will nicht.
Ich meine, das nervig sind halt die Insekten, ne? Aber kann man nichts machen.
Was ist das für ein Fleisch?
Entrecote vom Rind.
Das ist einfach ganz steak. Auf jeden Fall in der Uni lernen ja die...
Mit Insekten gibt's auch, ja. Ich esse die nicht mit.
Ja, das ist okay, weil die leben ja noch.
Offizielle Gruppe oder?
Ja, und ihr könnt euch ja mal ein bisschen mit Ethik befassen, was für die Tiere bedeutet.
Ja, Ethik ist was ganz anderes, weil wenn es ungesund für die Menschen ist, dann ist es egal. Also Ethik und so.
Oh, for real? I can send you the links. We know that for a lot of. Google it. So there are a lot of vegans, because there are a lot of vegans. He is not doing an optimal vegan diet. They can eat bacteria do. Yeah, pernicious anemia. Is this not a proof? Yeah, but I mean, I think we should go through them. I told you. I wrote a whole book about it. They do. We can send them afterwards to you. It's no problem. Show everything to you. Would this be a proof? For you? Look it up and then we start the video again. It's no problem.
Okay.
I mean, if we look at it, realistically, I mean, all the major, associations. You've got the NHS, American Dietetic Association, all that. They've all done the studies, all peer-reviewed, saying that we can get everything that we need. I'm not seeing a lot of vegans in hospital right now, all dying.
Except for a few babies.
Yeah, but how many meeting parents
What is
are also
veganism?
in there?
What does veganism have to do with these babies?
That's not veganism. That's bad.
That's bad parenting. That's bad parenting.
Vegans can be terrible parents as well as me.
You can have a. You could.
Babies who were fed like what you guys call doing it the right way.
Yeah, but how do we know? We haven't got a food diary saying that they ate.
They did have a food diary.
The last one, the 19-month-old from Australia, they said exactly what he ate: vegetables, fruit, tofu, rice, whatever. Just a perfect balanced vegan diet.
Okay, but I mean, just say you're right. Okay, just say that one. It didn't go well for that one baby. Okay, we can also look at other, individuals that are eating meat, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be babies there that maybe ate a meat diet as well and also got ill. There's always going to be an exception, but it doesn't debunk the whole of veganism, does it? It just shows that there was problems with.
No, that case just shows that it's bad for babies. Yeah.
Well, no, it shows it was bad for that individual baby. It doesn't show it's bad for babies across the board, because there's plenty of vegan babies, right? We've got to be realistic.
There's no excuse for animal abuse. There's no excuse for animal abuse. There's no excuse for animal abuse. There is never excuse for animal abuse. It's not food. It's violence. It's not food. It's violence. It's not food. It's violence.
No,
I mean,
there's
imagine
no
a
vegan
cow
babies,
dying,
because they all get
eating their...
Of course they do. I know loads of friends with vegan babies, and they're all fine.
Breastfed. They get breastfed. That's not vegan.
Imagine a cow dying because they ate grass. It's their ideal diet, but they die.
No, but it's their mother's milk, and their mother consents to giving them the milk.
Yeah, but then you...
Surely that's fine, right?
If you say you believe that animal products are unhealthy?
What's that? Do I believe that they're unhealthy?
No, that animal products are unhealthy.
I don't believe all of them are necessarily unhealthy. I mean, I do believe, it's obvious, there's a lot of people eating animal products and they're okay. Everyone's not dying. I mean, obviously we can look into the studies and some of them say that it can increase risks and stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, I'm an ethical vegan. I do it because I don't believe we should kill animals when we have alternatives. And I don't see the vegan diet causing these massive problems. I really don't see it. And these studies don't back it up.
Want to see it. That's also
no, of course I do. I'm very open to stuff. That's why I came over and chatted, and we're having a civil chat. I'm not gonna.
But when we give you examples about babies, literally
no, but you gave it one baby. You can't show me like 10,000 babies have died because of the vegan diet. You know what I mean?
There's
really
many,
not.
No, there's many, but it's just
you admit bad parenting can be a big part of that as well, right? It can't just be down to a diet.
But I'm just saying that particular baby ate
who don't want to admit that they're vegan because they don't want veganism to get a bad name, even though their baby fucking died, because it's more important.
This is the thing, right? Not all vegans are sensible people. Some vegans are idiots and they're dickheads. They have no idea what they're doing. The same as with anybody else. There's always going to be those exceptions where those people.
That's always what you guys say.
No, but there is, because the thing is. The thing is, if I asked you for the study of vegan babies and how they're all getting deficient and dying, it doesn't exist, is it?
There's
no
studies.
Exactly, there's no studies.
Yeah, but there's news reports, of course.
Yeah, and if you
why would they study that vegan babies die if they want people to go vegan? It doesn't make sense.
So
but what do you mean, who wants people to go vegan? Like
you said, the World Health Organization, it's vegetarians and vegans work there only.
Right.
So they release these studies that
it's not just vegetarians and vegans, like in the World Health Organization. I don't know if that's
all
true.
All the authors of the studies that say it's healthy for all stages of life, all of them are vegan.
I don't think that. I mean, I know what you're saying. I know there was some people that were vegan who helped do the study, didn't they? In the thing. But the thing is, you got to remember that study was then peer reviewed by other people that were not necessarily vegan themselves. So we can't completely debunk it just because a few of them were vegan. Because realistically, if they thought it was healthy for them, then they would follow the diet.
You can't even call it a study because it's not.
It doesn't mean they were necessarily ethical vegans either. They could have just been doing it for health reasons.
I just can't call it a study because it's not something you can experiment on and repeat. That's what a study should be. It's just a text that it's fine for all stages of life and for pregnant women. It's just a text. It's somebody's opinion. That's not even a study.
Well, I guess what we can agree on here then is that all the studies, the ones you're saying and the ones we're saying, could all have faults within them, right? We don't know for sure that any of these are 100% correct. We can't tell that because there could be bias within all of them.
I'm not a fan of studies either.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
Exactly. So I mean, what we should look at is just the general populations and how we're doing and everything. And there's not a ton of I mean, yes, there are vegans being ill, but there's also other people there's people on the carnivore diet getting ill as well. Come on, everyone's getting ill, doing everything, and like the world's sick. But there isn't enough evidence to say that this is like terrible and no one should do it.
There's evidence.
It's not there.
All the anti-nutrients and the toxins in the plants, there's evidence that they cause problems.
But again, we're going to go back to a study, and then we go, well, is that study biased?
Not necessarily a study. I mean, I also interview ex-vegans, so I know.
I've seen on some of your channel and stuff. The thing is as well, I've watched some of the ex-vegans, and I'm sure some of them had genuine problems. Some people do have different things go on.
The rest is just lying.
No, but there was some on there where I can just say you just weren't eating properly, dude. You're going on this crazy raw diet.
Every time you hear the word raw, in the first 2 minutes.
Just eat a balanced diet.
Raw, it's just
balanced diet first, and then they go raw because it doesn't work.
Not always. Not always.
I did as well.
You got to remember, in the vegan movement, especially a good few years back, there was this big thing with Freddie the Banana Girl, Jurian Ryder, about always kind of raw till 4 and raw eating, and that was the big buzz back a few years ago. And now we're seeing a lot of the people that were doing this strict raw are kind of being like, oh, actually, maybe it's not that great for me. And I think that's where a lot of the people you're interviewing are falling off. People like Prem, for example, he did all the raw stuff. But
he did raw.
Yeah.
Fucked him up, and then he did other stuff after also.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, all the people that are just eating a standard balanced diet, all fine.
There are a bunch that also get sick. It's not only raw.
If there's people being sick of it, there's the people on the carnivore diet being sick as well, right?
But it's the same.
So we can't say that just because a few people are sick in veganism.
Vegan for 6 years, actually.
So you're vegan 6 years.
Yeah.
Right. What happened to you?
Yeah, I'm interested, man. What's your kind of personal...
I saw all the ex-vegans.
Okay.
First of all, I've never encountered any ex-vegans.
Right.
I was like, that doesn't exist.
No, exactly.
No. Either you go vegan or you don't go vegan.
Yeah.
But you stay vegan. That was what I was thinking.
Right.
But then I saw people, testimonies, some from his channel, but not all of, also other ones.
Yeah.
And most vegans that are longer than 4 or 6 years vegan, they get the same problems. And I had the same problem. So for me it was like, At least
like I said, no meat since 2002, so I haven't eaten meat now for 19 years. Okay. In that time when I was vegetarian, I was barely drinking any milk because I just didn't like milk, and I didn't like eggs, so I was very just cheese. Really, that was the only thing. Completely vegan for 5 years. Had my blood test done like a few weeks ago. Absolutely fine. In fact, I think it said I have like a 1.3 chance of ever getting any cardiovascular disease in the next 10 years.
I don't care if you're healthy or not.
You don't care if you're healthy or not?
No,
yeah, I know you guys think the cholesterol should be high. I
can be healthy, it's fine
for
me.
What I can't understand though is like why you focus on things that you don't like. I mean, you see veganism as being like a huge
We're going to
threat.
move into the shades. The one thing I really believe in is I think that having civil discourse between people with opposing views is important, because in the end, normally there's an element of truth in the middle from what we're talking about. You know, I'm sure some of the things you're concerned about are genuine concerns, and I think a lot of stuff I'm talking about has genuine concerns. And I think unless we,
How do you explain this though?
what's this? What am I explaining?
I've seen this. These are people that have probably had underlying problems
Okay,
with
well,
their diet
Goji
before.
Man had a ton of problems, okay? Freely looks fine now. I don't get what the issue with
Wait,
Freely
yeah,
is
this
there.
is before she was vegan.
That was before she was vegan.
So you think we could not get
Oh yeah, but Freely
a
doesn't wear
collage of
any
1,000,
makeup
100,000,
anymore.
a million
This is like
people?
makeup
So what?
Freely. She doesn't wear any makeup anymore. She's gone all natural.
That shouldn't make such a difference.
Oh come on, you woke up in the morning, you haven't put your makeup on, you know you're going to look a bit different. It's not
I
accurate
sometimes
comparison.
don't do makeup, and it's.
But
many of these people are suffering anorexia and were probably suffering anorexia before they were vegan.
But I've had
Probably
adrenal
quite a lot
fatigue,
actually.
I've had
Yeah, Tofu
anorexia.
Tommy, he's a guy who's had like chronic problems his entire life. You know, he's trying to sort stuff out. Like some of the people on here.
Quit veganism.
You know, I know he's eating some meat at the moment. I think literally because he's been told to. Otherwise, he's gonna. I don't know what they're doing. I know, but I mean, have I got the vegan sunken eye? Am I like look like I'm dying? I mean, you're probably going to say yeah, but I mean,
we could look at say something like Prep.
But you do look very emaciated.
I don't. I do. I exercise a lot. I walk a lot. I walk everywhere. So I burn off a lot of calories.
That's the thing, is sometimes it gets too hard and your digestive system gets messed up to even gain weight.
I mean, I probably walk about sort of like 60, 70 miles a week. Right. So I burn off a lot, and I eat a lot. I eat about 3,000 calories a day. I probably burn off a lot of that as well. So yeah. I mean, I used to be about. I was always about 11 stone maximum, and then I think after when I started exercising, nothing to do with when I changed my diet, but when I started exercising, I went down to about sort of 10 and a half, so about half stone lighter. I was always skinny. Always.
I know. I mean, realistically, I mean, me saying how I look when I'm this age, like everyone.
I don't miss any of it. I don't miss any of it at all, though. I really don't. You know, and I know you don't like. If you talk about like anecdotal, this kind of thing. Well, my anecdote was like I was experiencing a lot of problems before when I was eating animal products. I was experiencing constant lethargy, bad sleep, anxiety, constant like back problems, that kind of thing, and that is all gone now. You know, I'm like getting towards 50 years old, and I feel like at the peak of my life, and it's like I wasn't feeling like this any way at all before. Never felt this kind of energy, you know. And I know it's different. It's different for each person. You know, everyone's different, and we can look at the worst in people that are eating like carnivore, people that are eating like McDonald's or eating like vegan or whatever. And there's always going to be like, you know, good and bad, healthy, unhealthy, people that look great, people that look like shit. You look down the street, you see people that look absolutely disgraceful half the time, you know. It's just there's no strict pattern, and you've got like the worst of the worst there, and you put it all together. It looks striking, obviously. And, you know, in the videos where you slow down all the footage and you focus on like a couple of frames. Yeah, it looks bad, but could we not do the same for people that are eating animal products? Of course we could.
Yeah, but they eat maybe, most people eat like 30% animal products, that's the thing. And a hamburger at McDonald's is like 70% plants.
I mean,
But just the overall diet is shit for everybody.
I mean, is it that you're like, basically you're...
meat is super cooked, so they don't really get anything out of it anyway. That's why even they can get a B12 deficiency.
Yeah.
Whether
I mean, like with you guys, I mean, like I know you obviously have a YouTube channel and this kind of thing, and obviously like Prem does, and obviously you want to get like, and I know targeting vegans, targeting vegan protests and this kind of thing, obviously generates a lot of interest. But is that at the same? Is that really promoting what you're promoting? Because like we go out and we'll do things that are actually promoting what we, rather than sort of trying to attack. We don't come to like a carnivore event and sort of try and disrupt.
Yeah, no carnival events.
Actually, Joey Carlstrom did go to a barbecue festival, so he does that.
Oh, I did see that actually. Yeah. I mean, you say like you don't seem like you're really anti-me. Like, I mean, you're anti-vegan, but
I'm anti-veganism, not vegan.
Right. Okay. So that's the impression I get with Prem. I get the impression he seems very angry when he talks to people, and I've seen him. When you actually sort of chat with him, he's actually not like that. Not like how he appears on his channel. It comes across like he's like totally just like anti-vegan. Like something's happened to him, like to make him that way. When we should be like a battle.
It's again, if you cook your food as well, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose the B vitamins. You're gonna lose them. That's just how it is. Unfortunately. So definitely those people don't eat raw.
No, I'm sure they don't. Yeah.
So,
but what I'm not seeing is like there's all these small studies saying about vitamin A or vitamin this, but there is no big study out there that's saying vegans are all suffering from these huge deficiencies on a wide population scale. It's just not there. The evidence isn't there, and the evidence with the people around. I mean, how many vegans are here, and everyone's not walking around looking dead. And I know you guys see people and be like, they look like this, they look like this.
No, but most people aren't vegan for that long. That's
but a lot of people aren't, but you've got to think about the reasons why. It's not necessarily because of health reasons. There's peer pressure. They don't know how to do. They don't know what to eat. There's so many other reasons. I don't think people are all quitting because of health. Mainly it is peer pressure and convenience.
But I know that there's people who do the diet right. I mean I've been in one of them, and there's been many people actually.
But did you go to a doctor and get full tests?
I have had tests.
Okay, and your doctor 100% told you that it was because of a vegan diet. You could confirm that from a medical doctor that it was the vegan diet and it wasn't any internal issue.
I don't know that much about nutrition in general.
No, they don't. You're very true. Doctors only do a very small nutrition thing.
They wouldn't even be able to tell you if it were the case.
But unless you've been to a nutritionist and you've got a thing that actually tells you the vegan diet has made you deficient in this, there is no evidence that it was the vegan diet and it couldn't have been something internal.
Have experienced that, right? That they eventually ended up at some specialist.
There's also people that don't eat vegan that also have problems where they can't absorb vitamin D or they can't absorb this. It happens. That's not the diet's problem. That's just a problem with that individual and their body.
Well, again, most people don't eat a healthy diet. Most people, I think
understand.
99% of people don't eat a healthy diet.
Yeah.
So, of course,
but can you, with 100% certainty, say that you cannot be healthy on a vegan diet?
Yes.
Okay, then how are my blood tests
good and how am I
still
you can sustain, you probably can sustain a bit longer than most people. Maybe actually the fact that you were vegetarian for such a long time has made your body a bit more adapted towards taking those steps of getting fully plant-based.
Yeah, but I'm not the only person.
No.
I'm not the only person that's it. There's a lot, and we're not talking a minority. We're talking the majority of vegans are fine. There's small people.
I've talked to many vegans and they don't.
I talk to vegans every day. Come on, I am one. All my friends are vegan. I want to hang out with a vegan.
They wouldn't tell you if they weren't.
I know. Okay, maybe there's the odd one that might be like sneaking a little bit of chicken every now and then, right? Okay, but the thing is,
many of them do, and that's the funny thing. They actually. When they quit, only then they admit that, because of peer pressure, they don't want to. Some of them even have like companies and
like
business interests.
Me, dude, you look sick as fuck. What happened? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I'm fine.
But again, with you, did you go to a doctor? Did you go to a nutritionist? Have you actually got a solid evidence that it was the vegan diet?
No, I was convinced that I'm healthy, so I didn't go to someone.
But you're not gonna. Again, you really aren't gonna find.
This is why I went to get my blood test, because I thought I hadn't had my blood test done. I'll go and get them done, and we'll have a look and see if I'm healthy. And it came back absolutely fine. The doctor was like, not a problem. Go away and carry on doing what you're doing.
I don't trust the blood test. Like I see the results.
But what are you going to trust?
No, how I feel. Like now I feel better.
Exactly.
So I did something right because I cured my sickness.
But didn't you say you didn't feel you felt good
And people told you, your friends told you don't look good?
No, everyone around me. Like at my
But you just said you felt fine, and your friends told you...
Yeah, like I told them,
no, you don't look fine.
For you knew, you could have had some bacterial infection that just got cleared up, and now you feel okay again, and it wasn't anything to do with the diet.
So where does the bacterial infection come from?
It could have come from anything. You could have eaten cross-contamination from who knows
so
what.
important that I didn't.
Yeah, come on, you can get infections from everywhere. Infections everywhere. Come on, we know that.
Looking into food because of my health, because veganism became more important ethically. I didn't even notice that I didn't feel optimal. And honestly, it was only after I ate some raw salmon and some raw eggs that I felt like, oh.
And the first bite I took, and I swallowed it, immediately the fat, like I digested it and it went into my brain. And I felt it heal like a hole in my brain. Like a dying wolf. I literally felt like a dying wolf who came out of starvation. I looked at him and I told him, bring all the meat.
Like people who get to a point when they're feeling really sick and they reach out to try and make themselves feel better, I don't blame them for doing that because they're trying to preserve their own health, aren't they? And everyone
That's the most important.
Exactly. So everyone wants to make themselves feel healthy, obviously.
Otherwise you can't help anyone.
Yeah, but obviously you can find a solution that may work for you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that what you were doing before was the core issue. It could have been an easy fix. You could have gone to a nutritionist and say, you know what, you just got to eat some more of that, and you go, okay, done.
Yeah, but there's people who do this, and then
you don't know. Like you're just going to say, yeah, maybe you need some more iron.
I've tried very different things. Like, okay, increasing.
But you said you didn't go to a nutritionist, right?
No, but
okay, so you can't say for 100%. Come on, we got to be realistic.
You know why I didn't go to nutritionists back then? Because they weren't vegan.
Okay.
So I thought what they would say, I wouldn't listen to it anyway.
Well, in the end, though, that's only your fault. You chose not to go.
But I had that little energy that I couldn't even get up to make a fucking appointment with anyone.
But you had enough energy to go and buy raw meat and try to eat that. So you got some energy there, right?
Actually, no. No, I didn't.
You know what I'm saying, yeah.
People helped me with
But what I'm saying is you can't 100% confirm that it was a vegan diet when you didn't go to a nutritionist. You have no actual evidence that it was the vegan diet. It could have been anything else. All you can say, is you ate some animal products and it made you feel better. Yeah, true.
It definitely made me feel better.
Yeah, okay, so that's what we can agree on. You ate animal products, it made you feel better. Right. But that does not mean that you could not have felt better, and you haven't shown that you had any other problems that could have been cleared up.
I know I've tried enough to say that I can exclude all the possibilities.
You can say that you tried your best, of course, but you can't say that you had medical evidence to show.
You should see my cupboards, like they're full of like all the health stuff.
Yeah. No, I have no doubt that you tried your best in everything. But like, if we haven't gone to a professional to confirm this, then we're still back to square one. Of
what is a professional? Someone who studied some book?
I know, but come on, we've got to. I know that we can say, well, we don't trust anybody, but I mean, to a point, we've got to go. Okay, well, a nutritionist probably knows more than I do.
Rely your health on someone else's
or someone who's gone through a big course to learn how to.
Still, it is an opinion.
It is an opinion, but it's a more valid opinion than the ones that we have because they've actually looked into the science and the research.
You have a more valid opinion regarding your own health and well-being.
Not if you're not very versed on biology and know what you need.
But then you're very removed from nature.
No, well, you're saying you never go to a doctor if you feel ill. You're just going to go, oh, I'm just going to deal with it myself.
Ideally not. If I really have to, if something
is like really wrong,
if you break a leg or whatever, of course you
But if you go to a doctor, they might go, well, here's your symptoms. You've got XXX.
Yes, and I
that is what's wrong with you, and this is how you cure yourself.
If I don't agree, then I say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to your
of course,
advice.
you've got the.
I don't agree.
Of course, you've got the freedom to be able to decide that, obviously.
Right, and
but
we see
that doesn't debunk everything they say. They've obviously done a lot of research to become a doctor.
My doctor drinks Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Any health advice from someone who does that? Come on.
I know, but come on, that's like saying that I'm not going to listen to someone who's preaching anti-racism because they smoke and smoking is bad for them. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they might do something bad, but that doesn't mean that all the stuff they're saying, which is good, is now debunked, right? Would be a good reason
not to listen to them, to be honest.
No, I mean,
how can you take someone serious who doesn't even take themselves serious?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, just because they do one thing bad, that doesn't mean every other thing they say is debunked, right?
Sure.
There can still be truth within it.
If you didn't know that smoking were to be not
even if they did, even if they chose, like, I'm a doctor and I'm going to smoke, but it doesn't mean that if they turn around and say, hey, smoking's bad, that it means that you shouldn't listen to them just because they smoke. It means they still got the knowledge. It's what's the word? They say, do what I say, not what I do.
To remain in ignorance.
Maybe
even
they
though
do.
They know it's unhealthy.
That doesn't mean the information they're giving you is false, right? They can still give you factual information and be doing something wrong.
That could be the case, yet I would still take it with a very large grain of salt.
It's like I could say, like, for example, the moon is made of cheese, right? But that doesn't mean that if I now turn around and say, we shouldn't be racist, that now my opinion is completely debunked and my opinions on racism are now not valid, because of course they are. I can have this wacky thing.
That's also actually an interesting
see what I mean?
because people who say they're not racist are also liars.
Okay. I mean, I'd rather talk about the vegan thing. We can go into like a racism debate another time.
You know what your biggest fallacy is? That you believe
what's that?
Your biggest fallacy.
What's my biggest fallacy?
That you believe that anybody can be sick, whatever they eat. But if you eat raw meat, at least since birth, you can be sick. You can't have any illness at all. You believe that vegans get sick and it's just random basically, but you can get sick if you eat only meat.
You can't eat sick if you eat only meat?
Yeah, it's impossible.
How?
Well, it's just a thing
where I would like to see the study that shows they're eating raw meat.
Raw meat.
Yeah,
but you can see it.
Well, you can't prove it. That's just an opinion then.
Well, you can see a lot of.
You can't say that it's been proven that
I didn't say it's been proven.
Yeah, okay, well there you go then. So why are we discussing something that isn't provable and it's just completely?
It is provable.
It's provable.
What's the phrase that says that can be asserted about evidence can be debunked with that evidence? I think something like that. Anyway, basically, if you haven't got any evidence for it,
that's why they don't study.
Then we can get rid of it. We can't class
study raw meat either for trials,
because it
but you
would
can
turn
see
out to be ideal.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can see stuff. You know, the thing is, like, we can see an old woman that smokes till 100, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that smoking's good for us.
Yeah, the only ones who really know that raw meat is good are the ones who eat it. And you have obviously never ate an only raw meat diet, so you don't know.
Yeah, but that's like saying I've never eaten just gravel or bricks, so I don't know whether it could be healthy for me.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No one in nature would like naturally gravitate towards eating such a thing.
Yeah, maybe not. But if you, we could go back into the kind of history of man and whether we could have even caught animals and back. I don't really want to go into because I'd rather talk about it today.
I crave raw meat, so for me that was like on top
Did you crave raw meat? Did you crave raw meat, or were you just craving the nutrients within raw meat?
Probably the nutrients within.
Okay, and which nutrients were they?
Vitamin D, vitamin A,
okay, and you can't find them anywhere else.
Not in plants, no.
Well, you can. Well, first out, I'm getting vitamin D right now from the sun.
Eggs as
right?
Well. You can find them in fish.
Where she comes from, there's no sun for many months, so you gotta eat animals. It's an animal hormone, vitamin D. There's no other way to get it.
I was very vitamin D deficient, and I ate a normal diet before everything else, you know.
Yeah.
So.
But the thing is, what we're saying though, which I'm going to keep back to, is we can make all these things. We can say vegans can't get this, vegans can't get this, vegans can't get this, but you can't come to me with any sort of solid study and go, there's the evidence. It's all opinion. We're all talking opinions, right?
There are studies about vegans that they're iron deficient, for example, stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's also loads of meat as iron deficient.
No,
everyone. There's like
it's too high. That can also happen.
It is good. Like a friend of mine, I know he's not vegan anymore, but Jacko Wacko Vegano. His B12 was through the fucking roof. He overdosed on B12.
Exactly. You say he overdosed on B12.
It doesn't mean that he had actual real B12.
It's not the real B12.
It's just the blood. So you can take any toxin.
It's something that resembles
but again,
B12
we also don't have any evidence that this B12 thing and all these vegans are getting this actual B12 deficiency either, do we? It says that you've got to be careful about where you get your B12 and make sure you get it. But there is no study that is 100% saying, like, vegans aren't getting any B12 and they're all going to be fucked by the time they're X amount. Yes, it's not the case.
No, there will be in the future.
No, but again, you're asserting that. You can't prove that. You're just saying there will be in the future.
I think there will be enough cases.
But I could say I think there won't be, and that's just as valid as an opinion. So we're talking opinions.
It's all just opinions.
Exactly, this is what I'm saying. So all the stuff you're saying is just opinion. None of it's fact. So we're arguing about opinions.
A fact is something you know.
You're
only talking about beliefs.
Yeah, but all I can say is we're here as vegans and we're all alive and healthy, and I can show you my blood test. You can probably show me your blood test or whatever.
Are you implying that studies are facts, or what?
Well, no, I'm implying that studies can give us a guideline for potential evidence. Like, yes, studies can be biased, studies can be wrong, but it's stuff there that starts to build evidence, isn't it? It's the building blocks.
Potential evidence.
Yeah, exactly, it is.
That's all they can do.
Yeah, exactly. But
until the very end.
But what are we going to do though? Are we just going to assume that until all these studies are done, like it's like, well, there's no studies showing that all vegans are vitamin A deficient, so we're just going to assume they are going to be until the study's done. But that would make no sense, would it?
There will never be a study about vegan vitamin A levels because it would be just so bad. So you'll never see that.
But why? That's just an opinion. You can't prove that. You can't prove
it's
that.
All opinion. Well, I can prove that, well, I don't know if you can call it proof, but there's a study that UK women can convert beta-carotene into vitamin A.
Yeah, but how many? There was like, what, 65 people in that?
It doesn't matter if you
so it was this really small study that kind of like, it doesn't, it's not equating to the entire population.
More than 40% couldn't convert it.
It just shows that you don't care about human health.
No, what that shows is that maybe, by that study, maybe there is a potential problem. It shows maybe there's something there, but at the moment...
Yeah, but even if there was one, you don't care about her.
Yeah, but that's like me saying what? So there's no one ever been sick on the carnivore diet? There's no ex-carnivores, right? No, but I'm talking about the opposite. We're talking about your diet. You're saying no one's ever been sick on your diet.
Yeah, why did you change the topic?
No, because it's the same thing. It's exactly the same. I'm just saying I'm saying back what you're saying to me, to you. So you're saying to me, like, oh yeah, there's, there's one person.
Vitamin A. Carnivores get vitamin A from their food.
Right.
And UK women, 50% can convert it.
So if you value studies, that should indicate...
About it, if there's 60-something, how many is it? Technically, approximately, it's 30 to 50% at least, if you take all UK women.
Yeah, but but we haven't done a study with that many people. We've done a study with like 60. It's a very small amount, right?
Even 30 women in the UK, even if it was. You still don't care about their health.
Don't you think realistically we should be looking at that and be like, okay, there's some...
That's our future women
hold on a second. But don't you think we should be looking at that and go, okay, well, something happened here. There was a correlation here. But until we make some wild assumption, we need to look further into this, right?
It's not really a wild assumption.
Well, it is, when there's only 65 people and there's how many women in the world?
Also, it's all coincidence that 40 or over 40% of those women can't convert beta-carotene into real vitamin A.
Who knows? It could have been an absolute coincidence. I mean, that's a long shot, I understand.
It doesn't even matter.
But it could have been. It could have been.
But it doesn't even matter if it's only 30.
Surely we need to redo the study. Of course we care about their health.
How?
How is it not saying we care about their health? Am I saying fuck those X amount of women because
they... want everybody to go vegan or what?
Well, yeah, the thing is, I do, but I also want people to be healthy at the same time, obviously.
They couldn't be healthy.
Well, the thing is, okay, so if it came down to the fact that there was a woman and she 100% would die if she did not get vitamin A from that approach, she would at least have a justification of survival. She would be like, okay, I need this to survive. I've got nothing against survival.
I was surviving too.
We're not in a situation where...
You can survive and die at the same time. You can be dying while you're surviving. You're still alive. Doesn't mean you are...
be vegan or what?
No, but the point I'm saying is that, for the majority of us here, we are not in a survival situation. We're living in an area where there's supermarkets everywhere. You're in one of the most vegan cities in the entire world.
I would say
so you can
living in a city is very much survival. But
but I'm saying what I'm saying is everything is available to us. You can go and get fruit and vegetables. You can buy everything that you need. It's all accessible to us. We're not living in a caveman situation where we have to go out and kill our own food to survive.
But you really need, you would have to go 4 hours.
No, but this is what I'm saying. If you could 100% prove that there was a woman that had no other way but to survive, but by getting vitamin A from a certain source, like if they had to do that to survive, at least they would have a justification to do it. Everyone else, what's their justification? What's your justification? You haven't got a vitamin A deficiency, right?
I would if I was vegan.
How do you know?
I don't know, but I
how do you know? So you just made an assertion.
Risk eating man-made food, right?
What?
Okay. I'm going. Of course, I'm going to eat my natural diet.
You eat cows, right? Yeah. What type of cows do you eat?
What type?
What breeds?
From the butchery.
What breed of cow do you eat?
I think they also have some Jersey cows.
Okay, Jersey cows have never existed in the wild and are a man-made animal.
I know what wild cows look like in India and such. They're very similar to our cows.
It doesn't matter. They're a man-made cow. Even the food you're eating,
they're bred.
Even the food you're eating isn't natural. For example, people that eat chicken.
It's just bred.
Chicken,
But breeding sex isn't natural.
No, but we have created them. They didn't do it themselves. The Jersey cow didn't decide we're going to make the the Jersey species. The Jersey cow was made by man. It's a man-made. And you're against man-made things, right?
No, it's not man-made.
Of course it is.
No,
the
because
Jersey cow didn't come. It's like the chicken, like the domestic chicken. The domestic chicken is the relative of the red jungle fowl.
It's also natural.
No, because the chicken was a relative of the red jungle fowl. That is the original chicken. The domestic chicken in its form today is completely unnatural.
Sex is natural.
It's no, but we are.
Whereas your stuff
But we
is
have
actually
created them.
modified, man.
You know, like when people make like a dog, like a pug or a Labrador. That's the same as what we've done with cows and chickens.
No, but it's through sex. It's natural.
So you would say a pug is a natural animal?
A what?
A pug.
What is it?
A dog, a breed of dog.
I know what a pug is. Mops.
Yeah. So that's natural.
Yeah.
Even though we have selectively bred them to have all these squash faces and everything.
Yeah, because it's through a natural process.
No, but it was through a process that was forced upon them. It wasn't through a natural process.
It doesn't matter if you force, it's still a natural process, sex.
But yeah, in that respect, you could have said everything's natural then.
No, it isn't, because the plants are actually genetically modified.
No, they are. I know. I have no disagreement that they are.
Like if you look at the wild carrot, then it's
the wild carrot's purple. Right, yeah.
It's not even edible.
But realistically, let's be honest. All the animals we're eating and all the produce that I'm eating, the vegetables and stuff, they're all man-made. We're not eating any wild animals, are we?
My whole point is about the women, that you just don't care about their...
No, but I've already addressed that. I said if you could 100% prove that one of those women could 100% not get vitamin A from a vegan diet, and they would actually die, and they needed to get it from another source, and they would have a justification to do so with survival. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, but the rest of the population doesn't have that, and until you can prove the rest of the population does that, they're doing it unjustified. So the deaths of those animals are completely unjustified until they can prove otherwise.
If you want everybody to be on pills and inject themselves,
then
who's saying we all have to have pills?
You're never going to get B12 from plants.
You can get B12 from seaweed, from nori.
No, you can.
Yeah, you can.
No, it's an analog. It's not B12. It's inactive. Your body can't use it.
Right, it can actually inhibit the absorption of real B12.
It's dangerous to take it.
What you were saying before, that in the city we have access to everything, that's technically not true, because we can't have easily access to wild animals, etc. You know, having good quality foods.
No, I mean, maybe you haven't got access to the stuff that, maybe the raw meat and stuff you want to eat.
That's why you can never be healthy fully if you live in the city anyway. Whatever you eat, you cannot be healthy.
Well, I mean, blood tests say otherwise, so we're going to have to agree to disagree here, right?
I think an optimal human being, they live very differently than we are used to.
I mean, I guess the way I would sum it up, because obviously we've got closing statements here, is if you cannot prove that you cannot get any of the things that you need on a vegan diet, you don't have a justification to take another animal's life to do so. So until you guys can come and say, well, I cannot get this from another source, you are killing animals unjustifiably.
Well, I know, because I have noticed. I've noticed the difference.
So you would agree that you're killing animals with no justification because you can't prove that you can't get anything you need from another source?
I know that it is very justified for my health to get all the nutrition.
But you can't prove that, right? We've already said that. You haven't been to a nutritionist. You've got no medical evidence to back that up.
Yeah, but we don't agree on that thing in the first place. You assume that a doctor or someone who has read some nutrition books knows better how you feel than you yourself.
But surely you can admit someone who's done a huge nutrition course is going to know more than the general individual.
Could you show your tongue?
Well, my tongue?
Yeah.
If you want, I'm very dehydrated
That's
today,
a good
but if you really need to see it.
I've noticed it before as well.
I know, I've been talking all day. I've been filming.
With Candida
I've been talking.
It looks like Candida.
It's called dehydration from talking all day and animal rights march, so come on. I mean, that's a bit of a low blow to get in there, isn't it? I mean,
but it's an indication.
It's really not up to.
And it says more than blood levels.
Can we have like a Sv3rige's teeth and then go, come on, like, you can't end it on Candida though. Everyone, go vegan unless you can prove you can't get any vitamin from another source. You're killing animals unjustifiably, and I'll happily debate any of you carnivore lot. Go check me out on Instagram at ChrisHTF. I've got a YouTube channel as well. Peace out, everyone. Go vegan. Much love to everyone. Thanks for the civil debate anyway. I appreciate it. All right. See you in a bit.
Damn. Poor hungry little vegan doggies.
But like Chloe Jo, her dogs eat apples, bread, and all kinds of tofu.
It's been a big change in their personalities. They're much more docile. They're much more docile. They're much more docile.